Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the Amazon Marketplace. And let's be honest, it's a massive, sprawling maze. It's a world of incredible opportunity, for sure, but also jam-packed with competition. So, let's figure out how to actually navigate it with a solid blueprint for success.
So here's the big question, right? This is what every single seller on Amazon is up against. When you have literally hundreds of millions of other products on the same digital shelf, how do you get anyone to notice yours? It feels impossible, like trying to get your tiny little shop seen in the biggest city on earth.
But here's the secret, and it's the whole point of this explainer. The sellers who make it big, they aren't just getting lucky. They're not just hoping for the best. No, they have a system, a deliberate, repeatable strategy that they build, tweak, and perfect over time. And this is that system. This is our blueprint. We're going to walk through 5 key stages. First, building a real brand. Then, winning the search game. After that, we'll talk about fueling your growth with ads, getting smart with the psychology of pricing, and finally, pulling it all together into a continuous growth loop.
Okay, first things first. We have to talk about your brand. Before you even think about keywords or ads or anything else, you need this foundation. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't just throw up a sign in an empty lot, right? You'd build your store first. Your brand is your digital storefront.
A really solid brand stands on 3 pillars. The first one is your USP, your unique selling proposition, what actually makes you different. Eco-fashion isn't just selling another t-shirt, they're selling a promise of 100% organic cotton. Next up is consistent design. A brand like Modern Nest uses that clean, minimalist vibe on everything, so you recognize them instantly. And the third pillar? Your story. Bold Beauty isn't selling makeup, it's selling empowerment. That's the kind of stuff that connects with people on an emotional level and builds real loyalty.
So how do you actually show off that amazing brand story on your product page? Well, that's where A+ content comes in. It's basically your chance to create a beautiful in-store display, but digitally. Instead of just a wall of boring text, you get to use rich images, helpful comparison charts, and cool graphics. This stuff builds a ton of trust and makes it so much easier for a shopper to go from just looking to actually buying.
All right, so your brand foundation is solid. Your digital storefront looks great. Now you need people to find it. That brings us to part 2, winning the search game. If your product page is your store, then your product title, well, that's the giant, glowing, unmissable sign hanging right over the front door.
And just look at the night and day difference here. The before title, women's t-shirt, is basically invisible. It tells you nothing. But look at the after. It's a customer magnet. You've got the brand name, the material, you've got key benefits like soft and breathable, plus you know there are options. This title speaks to both the customer and Amazon's algorithm, which makes it way more likely to get found.
Now think of your bullet points as your expert salesperson, right there on the page, ready to answer questions. The trick is to lead with a clear, capitalized benefit like long-lasting wear. You want to keep them short and easy to scan, weave in your important keywords without sounding like a robot, and always highlight what makes you special. Every bullet point is just another reason for that customer to click Add to Cart.
And here's a little pro tip for you. Back-end search terms. These are your secret weapon. They're keywords that the customers never see, but they're absolutely crucial. You can put in synonyms, common misspellings, even terms in other languages. It's like giving Amazon's search engine a secret map that leads directly to your product.
Okay, your brand is solid. Your page is optimized for search. Now it's time to pour some fuel on the fire. This is where paid ads come in. This is how you really step into the spotlight and start accelerating your growth on the platform.
Amazon gives you 3 main tools to do this. You've got sponsored products, which are perfect for driving sales on one specific item. Then there's sponsored brands, which are all about building up your overall brand name, showing your logo and a collection of products. And finally, sponsored display. These are super clever because they let you retarget shoppers who looked at your product but didn't buy, giving them a little nudge to come back.
But if you're going to spend money on ads, you have to know if it's actually working. And your #1 metric for that is ASOS, or advertising cost of sales. Just think of it as a health report for your ad campaigns. You're aiming to live in that sweet spot, that target zone. But if you see your ASOS creeping up into that danger zone, That's a huge red flag that you might be spending way too much money for the sales you're getting back.
So, getting people to your page is half the battle. But getting them to actually buy, well, that often comes down to one thing: price. And this is so much more than just numbers. It's pure psychology. The way you price something can completely change how a customer feels about it.
You have seen this literally everywhere your entire life. And that's because it works. It's called charm pricing. It's one of the oldest, most effective tricks in the book, ending your prices in 99 or 95.
So why on earth does a price like $1,499 work so well? It's because our brains are kind of lazy. We read from left to right, and our brain anchors on that first digit, the 1. We see it and process it as 1,400 and something, which feels so much cheaper than 1,500, even though it's only 1 rupee less. It's a tiny change, but it has a huge psychological impact.
And here's another great psychological trick: price anchoring. When you show that original price crossed out right next to your sale price, you create a powerful anchor in the customer's mind. That higher number makes the current price look like an absolute steal. It creates this sense of value and urgency that really pushes people to buy.
And finally, let's pull all these pieces together. Because here's the thing, being successful on Amazon isn't some destination you just arrive at one day. It's a cycle. It's a process of constant learning and optimizing. You absolutely cannot just set it and forget it.
This right here is the growth loop that the top sellers live and breathe. You start by optimizing your listings. Then you drive traffic to them. Next, and this is crucial, you analyze all your data and you read every single customer review. Based on what you find, you start A/B testing and refining. New photos, different titles, maybe a new price. And then you do it all over again. Repeat.
And to make that loop work, you need a dashboard. You need to be constantly watching your numbers. You're keeping an eye on your ACoS to make sure you're profitable. You're tracking your click-through rate, your CTR, to see if your products are even grabbing people's attention. And you're monitoring your conversion rate to see if your page is actually convincing people to buy. These numbers tell you exactly where you need to focus next.
So there you have it. That's a blueprint for making your way through the Amazon maze. But the biggest takeaway is this: the game never really ends. It's all about constant learning and adapting. You've got the map. The only question left is, what's your next move? Thanks for watching The Explainer.